Hello everyone and welcome back to JB's Total Gaming, where today we're going to be talking about Zenyatta, one of the most fun heroes to play in Overwatch in my opinion. Now Zenyatta is really interesting. Zenyatta can do a lot of healing, Zenyatta can do a lot of damage and boost your team damage, and well, that seems really powerful, but with only 150 health, Zenyatta is, I don't want to say a glass cannon, because he's not exactly the highest damage healer, but he can do a bunch of damage and healing and just is pretty awesome overall, but that is the one big weakness. So you see him throwing out these orbs here. Now, I can throw out an orb on one of my allies, and you can see which allies might need healing, and it'll heal them over time, or I can throw out an orb of discord on an enemy. You can see where that E is popping up, and an enemy with that orb of discord is going to take 50% more damage, which is a lot. So the idea that you can kind of heal or boost the damage on an enemy character without really having to do much seems pretty awesome. Now, the disadvantage of these things, though, is they do need to maintain line of sight. If somebody gets too far away and you can't see them for too long, the orb will be returned to you, whether you were healing or buffing the damage on an enemy. So you do have to watch out for that. So Zenyatta being such a glass cannon, well, you want to stay back. And again, I mean, glass cannon isn't the right term. And you can see there are two different modes of attack where I'm going to throw these things and they fire pretty quickly, although, you know, they hit in a very small area, so you have to be pretty accurate with it, or I can charge it on. But here's Zenyatta's ultimate. We didn't talk about this yet. So basically, Zenyatta becomes invulnerable during that time and then does massive amounts of healing to everyone within the area. It can be very useful for trying to hold points. There we were trying to capture the payload or whatever, and then right there's the weakness. So one shot from Hanzo and bam. One shot from Widowmaker and bam. I think it can be a body shot even. It doesn't need to be a headshot. You can be taken out very, very easily. So you want to stay back with Zenyatta, but at the same time you have to be within line of sight. Oh, I get my revenge right away there. So you see I throw down that Orb of Discord so that I can do more damage to the Hanzo, and you know, orbs can be thrown a very long ways as long as you can actually see the character you're throwing it on. So I'm able to get rid of Hanzo there after he took me out, and then we're pushing the payload here. So very effective damage. You see I think I'll actually get 13 eliminations in this, which for basically a support class is pretty decent for what ends up being a very quick game. But again, eliminations and kill death ratios don't matter, it's pushing the objective, which we definitely do. You see there I did like a full charge where I charged up my orbs and then, or my attack, and threw them all at one time. So that's a big thing. You need to be close but not too close. You need to be near your allies and enemies but still kind of staying back. And that's the thing. You want to be with other people though. You want them to be dishing out damage, you want the enemies to be focusing on them and staying behind your other allies, but at the same time knowing the opportunities when you can jump in. Maybe an enemy is distracted by something else, maybe you can charge up an attack, throw your Orb of Discord and hit an enemy really hard. So here I use my ultimate again to avoid being killed by the dragons, because they can't hurt me when I'm in the mode, and we are getting close to pushing the payload here. So it's really kind of fun. You're really very busy. You're having to watch out for who needs healing and get to them, and you know, stay close to them if they continually need healing. You can do a lot of damage, and a big mistake with Zenyatta might be to jump out and think you're just going to take people out, because Zenyatta's attacks are fairly powerful, especially when that Orb of Discord is up. But you see what I'm doing there. I'm kind of weaving back and forth. I'm kind of staying behind the payload, trying to pop in and out, staying in cover as much as possible. I really want to take out that turret, but trying to stay so that you can't take damage as much as possible, and yet at the same time be willing to go up and actually attack people, because you know, it could be a mistake to jump out too much with Zenyatta. It can get killed so quickly, but at the same time it can be a mistake to stay back, because you can actually do a lot of damage and help your team do damage. So here I see their team is coming up close with Reinhardt. I want to heal and, you know, get them. And it's kind of interesting too, because enemies oftentimes, especially newer players, will attack you while you have your ultimate up, which is nice because that's attacks that aren't going on your allies, and then you know, your team isn't taking damage then, which is great. So here I get taken out again. So there you see, you know, Reinhardt's, you know, kind of one range attack there is able to do a lot of damage to me because I don't have a lot of damage. Now you do recover because you have a lot of shields, your health pretty quickly, but again, you want to stay out of being in the complete front but still hang back a little bit. So it is a lot of fun figuring out, you know, who you want to throw the orbs on, doing some damage and trying to avoid that damage at the same time. So it can be a little bit tricky, but that's the big thing. You can have a lot of fun with Zenyatta and, you know, get support, which a lot of times teams need because a lot of times people don't want to play support. But I really do think, all the heroes can be fun to play once you learn them, and Zenyatta is no exception. So there you go. The keys to Zenyatta, remembering to always keep those orbs up. If you lose them, remember to put them out back again. You will get notifications for them. Be willing to do damage, but at the same time, do it cautiously. Get back into cover, because you can be killed very, very quickly. But Zenyatta is a really fun hero to play if you're willing to take the time to learn, and it really isn't as hard as you might think. So thanks a lot for watching, and we will talk to you guys again soon.